Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. If you are new here, what up? Today we're going to be talking about crystal caves, a little bit of info, and kind of a walkthrough as to what the event does, what all the crystals do, and just kind of some general info to help you guys manage this new PvP. So first things first, it is a 17 round event and each round is 6 hours. You are 1v1ing a team. There are no group things. It is just you versus a team for 6 hours. Now, during this time, crystals will spawn, and that is what you will fight over. It is basically a who finishes first. This is very much a throw megas at it, do coordinated supers, and hopefully you win kind of event. And then the crystals have small, medium, and large, and they have different HP percentages per size. So the small one does have the least amount of HP, and then the large one obviously has the most. And then what you can get from each crystal is a percentage modifier to different things. This applies to the dragons. There is attack and HP modifiers, tower attack and HP boosts, and then victory point boosts as well that you can get. The small one gives you 0.5%, the middle one gives you 1%, and the large one is going to give you 2%. Now, the PvP is broken up into rounds. We have early, middle, and late. Rounds 1 through 5 that you do. Now, remember, each round is 6 hours. So each 1 to 5 6-hour interval will be the early game. 6 to 11 will be middle game. And then 12 to 17 will be late game. Late game is where the biggest crystals are going to spawn and where you will get the biggest chunk of victory points, boosts, etc. So keep that in mind. Now, the small crystals spawn during all rounds. They have the least amount of HP and the least percentage of boost. Remember, they give only 0.5% of a boost, but the boosts do stack throughout the entire event. The medium crystals spawn through only the middle and late games, so rounds 6 through 17, you are able to get medium crystals as well. They have a higher amount of HP, and they give you 1% of a boost stack. This also means that they give more victory points, a bigger victory point boosts, and the bombs that help destroy other crystals will do more damage as well. The last crystal we have are the large crystals. They have the most HP and the biggest boost at 2%, and these only spawn during the late game rounds, so rounds 12 to 17. This means your Sunday to Monday, they're going to give you the biggest percentage in victory points, the biggest boost, the biggest buff. Keep that in mind when you are strategizing with your teams, but remember that small and medium crystals will also spawn throughout that, so you have a chance to get all of those. The next thing to keep in mind, only one crystal type and size can spawn per round, and once those are exhausted, only the VP crystals will spawn. So the wind dark crystals are the only ones that are going to pop up. You won't get any dragon modifiers, base modifiers, or victory point modifiers. You'll only get those bomb crystals and the VP chunks. Now, the wind is the one that you can't use megas on, and then the dark is the one that is element restricted and helps deteriorate the other crystals. It's considered like a bomb, so it helps you get points for those crystals, but it is the one that is kind of the most annoying in my opinion, because I don't have good sorcerers in my roster, so that was really tough because the Lupin that I have did not one-shot the towers because they have so much HP that it hurt, and I lost a mega, so that was really sad. So just keep that in mind. You do want a well-rounded roster once you do exhaust the Dragon Tower VP modifier crystals, because the only thing that will spawn for the rest of the round is those VP chunks and then those bomb crystals that help destroy the other crystals. Now, once you do take out a crystal, there is a cooldown period. I believe that this time has been changed. Just recently, as I'm recording this, it went from 15 minutes to 3 or 4 minutes. So once you destroy the crystal, there is a small amount of a waiting period. So keep that in mind whenever you are pushing for each crystal, that you want to kind of stagger them if you're able to give yourself room to kind of catch up and breathe. My team cleared 2 crystals very, very quickly, and so they were in sync with each other. So now we're stuck frantically spamming down both crystals as soon as they pop, which is within like a minute of each other. So it's very, very stressful right now. But just keep that in mind that there is a cooldown. It was 15 minutes. It is now like 3 or 4 minutes. So good luck to you guys, and use your resources wisely. Now, there is a unique kind of modifier to this event. You can get a 10 times boost multiplier per round per dragon used if you clear a base of at least 70% with just that dragon. So if you were able to get 70% with one dragon, you could get a 10 times boost. It can only be done once per round per dragon, but it can be applied to up to 10 dragons. So if you have 10 dragons in your roster that you can solo bases on your tier with and get points with, if you 70% the base with each dragon, you get like 100 times bonus multiplier. Now let's get into what each crystal does. There is a cadence and there is a rhyme and reason. It's not completely random, but it is a little bit random. The fire crystals or the red crystals give dragon boosts. So this is where you will get your attack and HP modifiers. The max that you can stack is 25%, but if you clear the small, you get a 0.5% of attack or HP. A medium, you get 1%, and then the large, you get 2. Megas can be used, and there is no class or element restriction, so you can use any dragon you want, and any boosts that are acquired by your team last through the event. So fire crystals are what you want to target if you want to get dragon attack and HP buffs. Very, very similar to the fire crystals, we have the ice crystals or the blue crystals. These are basically the same thing as the fire, only they apply the boost to your base. So your towers get attack or HP buffs. So if you want to buff your bases and make them harder to get through, definitely target the blue ice crystals. Again, you can use megas on these, all classes and elements. There are no restrictions, so you can mega away and use any dragon in your roster for these. The last percentage modifier crystal that we have is the earth or green crystal. This gives you a victory point or VP point boost to your team. This maxes out at 25%, similar to the others. Megas can be used. There are no class or element restrictions, and any VP boosts that are acquired by your team through the event last through the full event. This is what is used to calculate your league score. So your victory points that your team acquires is where you're ranked 1 through 25 in the league. So if you want to be first in the league, you definitely want to target these and bump up those victory points that you can get. So normally you would have like 100%. You can max this out to 125% and beef up the victory points that you get throughout the event. Next, we have the dark or purple crystals. These are considered the bomb crystals. They deal a percentage of damage to the other crystals in the cave. You can use megas on them. However, they have class and element restrictions, and they change each crystal spawn. So it'll never be the same throughout a round. Well, it may be, but it would take a lot of killing all of the bombs to get back to the rotation. But it will give you like only invokers, only sorcerers, only earth dragons. These are quite frustrating for me just because I don't have a well-rounded roster of a lot of dragons that I can use that are viable for these bases, especially if I am hitting bases in my league. We are Sapphire 1 right now, so a lot of the bases are kind of on tier for me, and they are tough. So especially if I get defended, I can't exactly do much with like nausea at this point in time. It's tough. So be very careful when you go into these. I personally wasted a mega because I didn't even look and realize that it was a sorcerer restriction, and the only sorcerer I had in my roster was Kralos, and my Lupin was very low level, and I really didn't have another sorcerer to rely on that was geared or runed. So I was taken kind of aback, and I messed up, but that's okay. Everyone messes up. So just be careful and make sure that you're looking at that and you know what you're getting into before you just mega fly into it. And the last crystal that we have is the wind crystal, or the gray silver looking crystal. It gives a set amount of VP points for your team. Megas are disabled though, so you can only use your regular, super, and wildfire attacks on it. But you can use any dragon or element that you want to attack the crystal, so that is super nice. You just kind of have to coordinate with your team and super through them. At the current state, we're only in the first few rounds, so the only ones that I've seen spawn are the really small crystals. So they're only giving about 4 to 5 and then like 11 to 12k VP points. So I'm curious to see how many more you get as you get into like the medium and large crystals, and how much the HP differences. So I'm definitely going by ear and kind of learning as I go, as well as you guys are. So I'm just kind of putting this together with what I've been given and what I have gathered up throughout the event. So if you have any other questions and I know it, I will definitely answer it for you. Ask me in the comments below. I hope you guys have a beautiful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next video. If there is something specific that you want to see, please ask me and I will try to make a video on it. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, bye!